Good morning, students. Now I'm going to talk about the unit number 4, that is 8051 microcontroller. So this is a very important unit. We already discussed what is the difference between microprocessor and microcontroller. So in microprocessor, the memory and input-output systems are connected externally, whereas in microcontroller, your memory and your input ports are connected internally. So it is an internal component. For example, you having a machine that your user will give a program to it. After programming, you are going to find out the instruction codes that are already available in the microcontroller. So best example is washing machine. What we does, if you give some instruction, it will activate and then it gives the output for the required time. So it is a microcontroller operation. So microcontroller is nothing but this ability to function in both input and memory devices internally in a circuit element. Now we are discussing about the block diagram. What are the block diagrams of available in 8051 architecture? So this is a simple procedure. Microprocessor that has a CPU. CPU is a central processing unit which has a memory. That memory contains the two types. One is a RAM, another one is a ROM. So RAM is a random access memory that able to read and write all the things that contains the memory in a CPU. Whereas ROM that is able to read only, is able to read the data, not to write the data. So able to read the data and store it in somewhere else in a memory location. That is a function of RAM and ROM. Next, it has a I/O ports. Input and output ports are available that are connected in a internal components. Next, peripheral. So these are the three important blocks that will be taken place in the 8051 microcontroller. Let us discuss once again. The block diagram consists of a CPU. In the CPU, we have a three such a element, that is a memory that contains the RAM and ROM, and input-output ports, memory ports, and timer. So peripheral timer, that is a timer and counter. Now let us discuss about the features of 8051. It is also known as a single chip computer. So everything is embedded in a single chip process and everything is enabled to withstand high amount of supporting systems. So without any supporting system, the 8051 can't able to withstand the power. And its specialty is it has a low power consumption. So when compared to microprocessor, the microcontroller ability to produce the low power consumption, which will be very useful in the marketing environment. So microcontroller is the purely is a low power consumption device. Okay, let us see about the advantages of microcontroller. So the microcontroller, the cost wise we are going means the cost is very low and the product size is very small. The system is more reliability when compared to the microprocessor. The controller or reliability to use, then we can able to troubleshoot the programs. So the programmer or everything will be troubleshooted and then given to the marketing agents. So RAM, ROM ports can be also interfaced. So this is the basic architecture of 8051. So in this we have seen the port, the various amount of port. So here we are having the four ports, port 0, port 1, port 2 and port 3. So these four ports are very important in the microcontroller agent. And we have a latches, two amount of latches, that is port 0 latch and port 2 latch. And we have a RAM and ROM memory, that is EEPROM, erasable programmable read-only memory that we have. And we have a register which contains the B register. In the right hand side of the block, we have a buffer, program register, PC incrementer, program counter, and data pointer. We all know about the concept in the microprocessor. And then we have the oscillator, which provides the timing circuit for the microcontroller. And we have a address enable latch and then reset function. So these whole components will find out the microcontroller architecture. In input, we are giving the power supply, which generally consists of 5 volt. So this is the basic block diagram, and we have a ALU, that is arithmetic and logical unit, which performs the addition, subtraction, and logical function in a manner. Next, we have a address register and then buffer. So here we are having a timer and counter. So that act as a higher order timer and lower order timer, that is zeros and ones. So let us discuss about the features of 8051. In this architecture, it is a 8-bit CPU which has a register, accumulator and B register. So there has a two type of register, that is accumulator register and B register. And it has a program counter which contains a 16-bit value and data pointer. Its memory space we already discussed, 64 KB. Then it has a 128 bits of on-chip data memory. So it has a total amount of 128 bits And I already told there are 4 ports: port 0, port 1, port 2, and port 3. Each port consists of a 8-bit pin. So totally we have a 32 I bar O pins are available. So one port, that each port consists of an 8-bit ports. Okay. Next we have a two 16-bit timer, that is T0 and T1. Each bit timer consists of a 8-bit. So totally we have a two 16-bit timer. Then it is works on a UART method, that is very important: universal asynchronous receive transmit. In this manner we are able to find out the communication in a both way. Otherwise we are able to send as well as receive. So that is the main concept of UART, and it has an on-chip oscillating circuits. So the basic features of 8051, I once again repeat: one is it consists of 8-bit CPU, then program status word, 64 memory it has, then each port that consists of a 8-bit memory, totally 32 IBOR pins are available, and 16-bit timers T0 and T1. So this works under the principle of UART, universal asynchronous receive transmit. Okay, we all discuss about the B register. So B register is one that very important. We are going to find out the multiplication and divide operation. So using this operation, we can keep our instruction continuous process. So that is why we are using the B register. And what is stack pointer? The pointer we are used generally stored in a push and pop operation to find out the stack segment. So using a pop operation, you can able to retrieve the data, and using the push operation, you can able to send the data. So that is automatically incremented or decremented based on the functions or returns calling you are given in the architecture. So this is the basic concept about the architectural unit of 8051. Now, thank you.